common values, common goals, common sense. The Common Sense Podcast with Semi Bird.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 14. Welcome to Common Sense with Semi Bird. This is Semi Bird, candidate for Washington State Governor. And boy, do we have a busy podcast for you today. There's a lot happening, and I'll give you an update on how we're doing across the state. We have people tuning in on Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook. Welcome to everybody. Glenn, it's good to see you, brother, from Clark County. We have people joining us from all over, and that's great to see. Our subscriptions are growing. Folks are learning about us. They're learning about our common sense platforms and positions, and I cannot thank you guys for your support, for seeing past the smoke and mirrors, for seeing past the typical politics of Washington State and our nation, unfortunately. Thank you for taking a stand for the Constitution, for taking a stand for civil liberties, civil rights, for we the people, for common sense. I'll probably say that a million more times, but this is what we stand for. We don't stand as an elitist campaign. We don't see ourselves better than anybody else. We see ourselves, I see myself, as someone who is applying for a job. A service position, a service leadership position, a servant leadership position. That is important because too often we elect people to positions and it seems as though they forget why they're there. They forget promises made. They forget who they work for. I am applying for a job and you are the interview panel. Plain and simple. Look at my resume and judge for yourself. Do I have the qualifications? Do I possess the knowledge, skills, and abilities to bring about the transformational change that Washington State needs? Do you want more of the same? Do you want a career politician, or are you ready for a career American? That is the choice, plain and simple. This is a constitutional republic, and what that means quite simply is this. Power is inherent in the people. This nation belongs to us. We the people, everyday citizens. It does not matter, again, the color of your skin. It does not matter your religion. It does not matter how you choose to live your life. It does not matter your faith. It matters whether you get off your bottom and you self-govern. Self-governance is the only way to preserve our constitutional republic. This is we, the people, standing up for what we believe and fighting for what we love. I believe in the Constitution, and I love our nation, and I love our state, and I love the citizens within it, and I'm fighting for it. And I appreciate you standing with me. So let's get on with it. Today we're going to talk about the economy. You know, we said in this podcast title, we're going to talk about prosperity, and that means something different to different people. But I want to give you an update on how we're doing as a campaign. We're going to go into that, and I've got a lot of questions. I didn't get through all the questions the last time. I'm going to try to keep this podcast, believe it or not, short, not an hour. We're going to see if we can come in 30 minutes. We'll see how we do. And so I'm going to have to cut this off and get to questions and answers because really at the end of the day, why am I doing a podcast? Number one, it's to communicate my policies, my positions so that you can get to know me. We can't do a debate because no one will debate me, right? We thought we had one, but the other person backed out. That's fine. I don't blame them. But I can do this to bring myself forward. I can get out and engage with you one-on-one within groups. I will go anywhere at any time to meet with you, to answer your questions, no matter how tough they are. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, so that we can get to know one another, to open myself up live to questions. And it's good to see you, my friends on the left. I'm looking to my left to the computer where I see all these beautiful people who have logged in to ask questions, to say hello, and to support. Thank you very much. And so what is the latest and greatest? Well, we've had recently, oh my goodness, we had the Pend Oreille County Convention, and I believe the word out of that was either 97 or 100%. If someone from Pend Oreille is tuning in, they can give me the numbers. I don't want to go over old numbers, and there's so many successes and victories. We had most recently in King County. I think I saw the 48th legislative district came in at 97% in King County. Thank you, Patriots. King County, folks. So this nonsense about, we can't win in King County. Only one candidate who can win in King County, and it's not you, Semi Bird. Well, it's not me. It's we. We, the people, are winning in King County. We, the people, are winning all up and down the I-5 corridor. And yes, there's a hiccup in Pierce County, but that will be accounted for. That'll come out. And we'll talk about that later after some things happen. But we are winning. Whenever we have a free and fair election, I promise you this, good things will happen for we the people if we stand together and if we stand up for what we believe and fight for what we love. Again, broken record. So what else is happening? Oh my goodness. Well, we received another hit bombshell, if you will. And I don't like to give attention to the negative. It's just simply for me to acknowledge reality. And once we acknowledge reality, then we rise above. And then we move forward. And we bring solutions. And then we make happen what needs to happen. And that is saving our state. That is focusing on the issues. That is communicating who we are and what we stand for. And spreading the word to anyone and everyone who will listen. So get out there and share what you know, share what you hear. Before I get into the drama, last weekend in Spokane, you showed up. Calvary, thank you. Wafa, thank you. Over 700 people showed up. Over 700 people showed up. We said over 500. It was over 700. One of my team said, well, Semi, you know, the picture you can't capture from all the angles. One angle, it showed some empty seats in the past or in the back, but that was only because that picture was taken earlier and someone posted it, not us. That's fine. But the count was over 700 people. This is what's happening in Washington State. Second largest city, Spokane. Clark County, we already know how that turned out in terms of the precinct caucuses. And we will be there for their convention. We will be in Spokane this weekend. Bird for Governor shows up for Spokane, Washington for their convention as promised, as agreed, because you can count on me. You can depend on me. When I give you my word, I stand up for it. That's how we roll. So many good things happening, but let's get to a little bit of the drama. So we talked about what's happening with this organization, Restore Washington, which is literally an action arm for the Riker campaign, and how they're coming out. Mike McKee, Kerry Kendata, Kerry Kendata are the leaders and founders of this organization. It's a large Republican mainstream faction, establishment of the party. And again, that's fine. That's fine. I do not dislike anyone. I have nothing against anyone. They have every right to free speech, and I respect the Constitution. And so here's what Mike McKee did just a week ago. Sent a letter out to all Washington State Republican Party committee members. That's the county party chairs, committee men, committee women. Kerry Kendata is the Chelan County Republican Party state committeeman. Mike McKee is the former chairman of the Grant County Republican Party. Former, I see why. But Mike McKee sent out a letter with all of these hit pieces, accusing me of being a felon, calling me a deadbeat dad, bringing my dead mother into it, bringing my children into it, making all these allegations. It's disgusting. And I remember back in the day when Ronald Reagan had an 11th commandment. Does anybody remember that? Do you guys who are tuning in remember Ronald Reagan's 11th commandment? It said something about thou shalt not attack another Republican. Well, you know what? This is not about Republican and Democrat. I'm being canceled, right? And that's fine because I'm not a victim, right? Adapt, overcome, improvise. That's how we roll. No victim behavior here. We find solutions and we make it happen, and we will. We are. But this is an attempt to get these party leaders to go to their counties. And if there's a county Yakima, Benton County, Skamania County, Cowles County, Clark County, Skagit County, Island County, Mason County, Spokane County, all these counties that have endorsed me. All these counties that have endorsed me. And there's more. Klickitat County did a dual endorsement. All these counties that endorse me, they're trying to get them to send this nasty, slanderous information to their party members in hopes to get them and their delegates that'll be going to the state convention in April, in which those delegates will vote to endorse one candidate for governor. They're trying to get them to change their mind, to unendorse the counties that have endorsed, to unendorse. So citizens of Washington State, look to see, will there be a county that endorses me because of this cancel culture, because of these hit pieces? Or will you seek the truth? We'll see. Again, I'm unafraid. I am unafraid because truth is truth. And let me ask you this. Are you the same person 20, 30, and 40 years ago? Yes. They are going back literally 40 years ago trying to dig up dirt using half-truths. See it for what it is. If you have a question, ask me. I'll send you supporting documents. That's not a problem. You'll see my honorable discharge from the Marine Corps out there, my DD-214, which has combined service, my latest, my medals, anything. It's out there now. So we're going to keep on fighting. We're going to keep on bringing truth. We're going to keep on getting out there and campaigning, old school, not from our basement, not running away from debates. We're going to get out there and we're going to engage with the citizens we hope to serve when we get elected. That's how we do. So recognize election interference when you see it. Recognize cancel culture when you see it. And these hypocrites who call Democrats names and live in glass houses, recognize that as well. So let's talk a little bit about the economy. I've said this, and so for many of you, this may be repeat, but it's worth repeating. Why are we going to, on day one, call for a third-party audit of all state programs and all state offices? It's plain and simple, my friends. I've been in organizational development and structural improvement for a long time. Organization, structure improvement, performance improvement, continuing improvement. It's to ensure that we function so efficiently, so effectively, that we save money. That we save money at every corner. Could you imagine a state government that has this continuous improvement mindset, that brings in professionals, such as what I used to do as a behavioral scientist who consulted large and small corporations on how to improve performance, leaders on how to become better, more effective leaders? Can you imagine bringing in this mindset and these knowledge, skills, and abilities to our state so that we actually perform more effectively, more efficiently, so we're not spending as much money, we're making better decisions? And you'll see how and why we will also declare that I, as governor of Washington State, will not sign any bills that raise taxes on any citizens for 4 years, my first term in office. Period. And I said that the other day, and I had this big applause, and I said, wait, that's not even the great thing. The great thing is that is just a delay. Sooner than that, with the money that we're going to be saving by functioning and performing more effectively and more efficiently as a government, by going into these programs and see which programs are performing effectively and efficiently, and then making adjustments, establishing key performance indicators, setting performance outcomes and goals, and establishing plans and these measurements so we can check along the way, heading up to performance excellence. Imagine how many billions of dollars we're going to save as a Washington state government. So this tax and spend nonsense, this mindset, which caused Jay Inslee in 10 years to double the budget from $35 billion to over $70 billion in 10 years, and they keep coming after our money. My friends, I have a whole different mindset. So that's just one thing that we're going to do. Imagine and understand that every person of adult age that is working in Washington state today, 50.7% of all of them work for a small business. Instead of over-regulating small business, we should be incentivizing small businesses. If you're a small business owner, like I was for the last part of my adult life, yes, I retired from the military, I retired from federal government as a GS-14 federal director, started out as a GS nothing, worked my way up, and the military started as a private, worked my way up, got knocked down to private, got back up, retired as a senior enlisted, sergeant first class because I refused to take a commission. I had fun being in the field. I had fun working with my brothers and sisters in special operations. I had fun being a Special Forces Green Beret. I had fun being in intelligence and operations and special operations community. I loved working at embassies. I loved being an advisor to the United States Ambassador of Bangladesh. I loved traveling international, engaging with all cultures, speaking different languages. I enjoyed it. I loved being an operator. I will forever love my brothers and sisters in special operations and my brothers on my A-team and my brothers in Special Operations Detachment Pacific. I love you all. But where was I? I digress. Bringing change to Washington State, to Olympia, is what we're talking about. We were talking about small businesses. So when you're a small business owner, you understand that phrase quarterlies. You understand the burden of employee taxes, how much we pay and employee payroll taxes. It's too high. It's too high. And so we need to adjust and lower. I'm not talking about just suspending. We need to go in and lower. And labor and industries, that cost that we pay per person by category, I understand that. I had to do that. We need to readjust that as well. We need to deregulate, and we certainly will never weaponize our state agencies against our small business owners, whether it's Department of Revenue, whether it's L&I, whether it's Employment Security. And speaking of which, the legislation to give unemployment benefits to individuals who are striking. Unemployment benefits are for those individuals who have held a job in good faith, find themselves without a job, but looking for another job, not individuals that have a good paying job and choose to strike. Now, I have no problems with trades. I support trades. I support trades going into middle school. I support mentorship programs. I support junior apprenticeship programs all the way to full apprenticeship programs. So I'm not saying that. But didn't this administration lose hundreds of millions of dollars? How much money did they lose? And then all of a sudden recover a portion of it due to unemployment fraud because of the unconstitutional shutdowns? Oh, I'm still on track, brothers and sisters. I know I'm talking about small businesses, but let's go there. How many small businesses were shut down during the COVID-19 pandemic, plandemic, whatever you want to call it? How many businesses were shut down? Was yours? Mine was hit. I had two companies. I had a consulting firm, a business consulting firm. I had a construction company, and I was hit. Some of you know I was hit with an arbitration judgment. I got that paid before the insurance company kicked in, and we're going to straighten out some of the false indicators going out on that one. They shut down our job site, trying to get trades to come to where our locations were was next to impossible once they did allow us to do partial work. You know how much money I lost? How much money did you lose? How many small businesses were wiped out and devastated because they shut down our state? Was your place of worship shut down? Did your children come home with a laptop and say, I'm supposed to learn online, knowing that children do not learn well online? And whose idea was that? How many of the candidates running today supported the shutdowns and the mandates? I'll tell you this. I'll make it easy so I don't have to call out names. I am the only candidate of the top four. Now that's Bob Ferguson, Dave Reichert, Mark Mullet, and myself. I'm the only one who did not support the mandates. One of the Republicans wrote into the Seattle Times with another Republican supporting the mandates. I, on the other hand, gave mass choice to students who were suffering and dying, lost learning, mental health crisis. How many of you want to put someone in government who supports the mandates and the shutdowns and the law? I'm not going back there anymore. We need to be careful of this, because if you don't think another one of these things is going to come back around again in the next 4 years, you need to recognize and you need to know where people stand. That is not me standing on the side of shutting down our state. Small businesses were devastated. People lost their livelihoods because of this. So we're talking about supporting small businesses. That's what I'm talking about. So supporting small business owners and incentivizing, deregulating, and our farmers. Our farmers, productivity. Production costs are around $11 billion in 2022. Up. Profit, approximately 12.7. Production costs, $11 billion. That gives us a net profit of $1.7 billion for agriculture. And if you divide that up, you're talking about what, $53,000 net profit for farmers? Can you run an operation like that? These are family traditional. These are things that are inherited, that have been shared over lifetimes of family heritage. This is food security we're messing with. So when you weaponize the Department of Ecology, when you mess with people's water supply, when you talk about pesticide regulation and all of these other things, raising our minimum wage prices to the highest in the nation, mandatory overtime over a certain amount of hours for seasonal workers who they themselves are against it. You need to understand, you're messing with food security. You're shutting down our food security producers, our farmers and our ranchers. And I will not support that. I will pull back on the Department of Ecology. I will ensure the water rights of our farmers. We will never shut down our dams and mess with our energy supply. You want to talk about prosperity? Let's talk about stopping China, the Chinese Communist Party, from buying farmland and agricultural land or any natural resource. And let me just say this. Any land in Washington state, any real estate in Washington state, that's not going to happen. I'm going to propose a bill, and it will be retroactive. Any Chinese Communist Party real estate that's owned in Washington state, even if it's through a third-party actor, you're going to have a certain amount of time, by the time I'm done, to sell that off, or you will lose it. We're not playing that anymore. They tried to push past this natural asset company category in the Security Exchange Commission. Many of you don't know this, and that's okay. That's why you have others like myself who are here to serve, to ensure that we don't support this globalistic change that is trying to steal our national identity, our national sovereignty, and the people's voice or the people's vote or the people's sovereignty of their own state. I will not abide by it. So I did write in a couple months ago to the Security Exchange Commission. I'm on record. It's unconstitutional. It takes away the rights of the people when you give powerful corporations or foreign entities access to our national resources. I will not abide by it. If anything, I will make that deal with federal government, no strings attached, to ensure that we are given our right to manage our forests, those federal lands, so that we don't have out-of-control forest fires in Washington state. I'll make that deal. You want to talk about the art of the deal? We'll make that deal, but we will give nothing away, and I will not play a strings attached. I don't serve any globalist national or regional organizations. You cannot buy me. You cannot control me. You cannot intimidate me. I serve the people of Washington state when I'm elected governor of this state. I will honor the Constitution. That's where my allegiance and my loyalty is to the Constitution and the citizens that I serve. This is the difference in the mindset. This is why they must attack, why they must remove me from the ballot. Have you seen this anywhere else? Maybe at a national level? That's okay. They're afraid. They're losing. We are winning. And we will win for the citizens of Washington State, all citizens of Washington State, in this nonsense of division along racial lines. That ends. President Obama had an opportunity to unite our nation. I will have an opportunity to unite our state. I will not let you down, and I will seize that opportunity. And we're talking about economic prosperity, but not at the cost of our veterans and those citizens living at or below the poverty line. Why are we allowing illegal immigrants to come into Washington State and go to the front of the line, and you have black, brown, white, all citizens of this, veterans living and dying on the streets, people living below the poverty line, and you have an out-of-control border crisis at the South, but we haven't even talked about the North or the port. Oh, I'm situationally aware. I'm a counterintelligence professional. I'm a counterterrorism professional. I'm a counter-narco-terrorism professional. There's a difference when you have a resume instead of being simply backed by big money and corporate cash that can control. No, not bought, not controlled, not owed. Service position. We will not be a sanctuary state when I get elected to governor. That money belongs to the citizens of Washington State, and we will protect our borders, we will protect our citizens, and we will make sure that we have a thriving economy. We will become the tourist capital this side of the Mississippi because we're going to clean up our streets. We're going to deal with the homelessness. We will deal with the lawlessness, and I have the mechanisms and the solutions to do so. They're published on my website, birdforgovernor.com. Look at them while I'm talking. They're there with a signature, not a false promise, not a politician's talking point. I'll go down that rabbit hole and chase you down the hole in the rabbit hole. Let's have this conversation. And I see people are dialed in, and I've got questions here. So let's go to some questions, and then I'll look to the left as well, you guys. There's so much. Am I feisty today? I don't know. I'm sharing my heart. I'm sharing my thoughts. I'm sharing me. Okay, here we go. This is Ray and Joanne. I love this when a family. So I talked about my discussion last Sunday. Thank you. You said you were concerned about the revolving door of prosecutors and judges. Yes, I did. How are you going to resolve this or stop it? So thanks for taking the time to meet with. Absolutely. I mean, anytime I can get out and engage with someone, I'll work 5 and 6 days a week. So here's what we talked about. Here's a couple ideas, solutions that I've actually written on. So not just smoke and mirrors. Number one, when you have prosecutors in their role exercising prosecutorial discretion or judges exercising judicial discretion, and prosecutors choose not to prosecute criminals with a repeat history of violating the constitutional rights and public safety of other law-abiding citizens, there's a problem there. You must take action. I'm all for second and third chances, but you have to protect the public. So why would we not assign a public safety rating to these individuals? So if you are releasing people back in the public and it's causing a public safety compromise, your public safety score is going to be low. So when you run for re-election, all of the citizens in your area will know you failed to do your job. And the next thing I'm looking at is finding a legal basis to have you removed from office because you are causing harm and death. We lost an Asian American lady and her child just a few months ago in Snohomish County because of crime. A Somali gentleman who was a for-fare driver who was murdered. This happens all the time. Murder is up 95%. Rape is up 51%. Property crime is up 73%. We're number 2 or 3 in the nation for auto theft. Ferguson sues the auto companies instead of enforcing the law. And don't get me started on Chop, Chaz, and all the rest of the nonsense. So we need to start doing something about this. And that's what I meant, my friends. Those are real solutions to hold them accountable. So thank you, Ray and Joanna. It was wonderful to be up there with you. Thank you. What is your position on abortion? And this is from Diane, and this goes also to Cheryl, who asked the question last week. And Cheryl, I apologize I didn't get to your question. Wasn't avoiding you, and I'm going to answer it directly. I value the sanctity of life from conception, which is scientific, to natural death. Plain and simple. 9.02.100, we have a law. My job is to enforce the law. But why are we not talking about bringing programs to educate young women so they understand their self-worth, young men to understand their responsibility, and programs, instead of vilifying women when they find themselves in these difficult positions by themselves, instead of vilifying them, why would we not support them, give them the choice for adoption, help them to get prenatal care to make sure that they understand that someone cares about them? So there's my position. Plain and simple. The people have spoken on this time and time again. So now we're going to bring programs instead of talking about it and fighting about it. I'm not going to get caught up in that smoke and mirrors. Let's start doing something about it. I'm a solutions guy. So we're going to bring programs. And when you want to talk about the demographics when it comes to these statistics in abortion, Black and brown women, 68%. We need programs to ensure that they understand that they have the tools and the resources. And those tools and resources are not with aborting children or babies or humans. And this is not me being pro this, pro that, or no. It's me being human. And that's protecting all life. Plain and simple. I hope I answered it directly. And let me go here. Oh, I got you. Someone said DEI. You keep that warm for me, Damon. Oh, I got you on that one. What is your position or stance for LGBTQ? AI plus. I got the rest of the letters for that. It is not my job as governor to judge your lifestyle. It is my job to protect every citizen's civil liberties. But we will let children be children. We will let parents parent, and we will value the sanctity of parenthood, and we will state clearly and publicly in my administrations that parents are the primary stakeholders in their children's upbringing and in their children's education. But I want everyone to be happy in Washington State, and how you live your life is your business. I value and love all citizens. So I talked about that. I talked about abortion, right? And it says, what is your position on gender change legislation? Let me say this. Taxpayers should not pay for another person's choice to change nature. This is not me discriminating against anyone. I already told you up front. How you live your life, I got you. We leave children to be children, leave parents to be parents. But how you live your life is how you live your life. To allow it in prisons? No, I don't support that. Why should we pay for that when you're serving a debt to your state? There's my position on that. So I hope I answered your question. Understand something about Semi. I don't answer questions to get votes. You may not like everything I say, but I'll be honest with you, and you'll know what you get. But I will never discriminate against anyone, regardless of their lifestyle, regardless of the color of their skin, regardless of their religion. It's the Constitution that ensures that we who hold elected offices acknowledge and protect the civil rights and the civil liberties of all citizens. And I will not abide by discrimination or prejudice against any citizen of this state. So there's that. Someone says, will you support President Trump? Oh, that's a biggie. That's a biggie. I have a press release coming out, so I'm not going to spoil that, but I'll help you with this a little bit. I support making America great again, and I support making Washington State great again. I support border security. I support energy independence. We will make Washington State even more energy independent than it already is, again, by not touching the dams, hydroelectricity, 65.7%. We're going to bring in small portable nuclear reactors, which are carbon-free energy dynamos. We're going to bring in that technology. And we will be energy independent in Washington State. And when you want to talk about economic prosperity for all, with this Climate Commitment Act, who would vote for cap and trade? who would vote for cap and trade? Who would vote for climate tax on citizens? Well, one of us Republicans did, and that's not me. I haven't been in Congress. I'm running for governor. So no, I would never vote on that or for that. No, do I support it? And we have initiatives out that I fully support, and hopefully we will repeal the Climate Commitment Act. Yes, we will protect our environment, but no. The fact that we are paying 50 cents or 44 cents, whatever it adjusts, because of this Climate Commitment Act, we're paying that much more per gallon of gasoline, 63 cents at one point in time, more for diesel because of the Climate Commitment Act. No, I would never vote for cap and trade. Check your politicians that you're electing for Washington State governor. Don't be silly about this. You're given the indicators of how they will vote. Will they support lockdowns again? Will they vote for cap and trade? Or are you being played once again? I don't play. So we have a press release that'll be coming out. I gave you the hints, right? So I'm going to give you some suspense. Would you support an audit of how our state taxes? Oh, well, I guess I answered that question before I read the question. So I guess you guys know I don't study. So we had a question over here. I'm going to go back and forth. I'm exceeding my 30-minute mark, but hopefully I'm not dragging. I'm not running on. So hopefully you guys are getting something out of this. And I see something, Reset Church. I have a dear friend and a brother from Reset Church in Marysville. And if that's my brother, I'm just going to say, love you, man. Hope you're still with me. And so, oh, there he is. Right there, past performance, clear indicator of future performance. That's my brother, Jeff. And so DEI, this is funny, sad, and interesting. You look at me. I am the product of this nation. I'm a son of America. Raised in Washington State, raised in Seattle. I'm running for governor. I'm the happiest man on the planet. At least that's my claim. Beautiful wife, 3 beautiful baby girls. Well, my oldest is 38. My next is 37. They're going to be moving up this year. My baby is 16, but they're my babies, all of them. And my wife, they're my heart, my love, my reason for being. I'm happy as can be. And yes, I get it. Why would I run for governor to put myself out there to be tarred and feathered in the streets or lynched from a light pole? Yes, I'm going through another public lynching just like Clarence Thomas did. That's okay. America, I am standing up for self-governance. And if I'm going to ask you to self-govern and get involved, then I need to self-govern and I need to step up to the plate. And I'm not being chased out of my state. You're not chasing me out of Washington State. This is my home. This is where I was raised. And this is where I will stay. This is where I will retire. So I'm not going anywhere. DEI. I taught a course. I did a lecture on diversity and inclusion. That was the title. Diversity and Inclusion, generations, ages, cultures, and perspectives. In the mainstream Republican factions who support the other candidate, the same ones who filed PDC complaints to the tune of over 100 allegations, which were all dismissed by the PDC a few weeks ago, all dismissed. They came at me. Semi Bird supports DEI. The missing word in my lecture was equity. Martin Luther King fought for and died for equality of opportunity, not equity of outcome. What I taught was people from all generations, all cultures from all over the world, all walks of life in a workplace. I'm a performance consultant, a business consultant, coming together, working together, respecting one another, listening to one another, and together within a corporate or an organizational setting. When we do that, performance goes up. Bottom line goes up. Employee retention goes up. You see what's coming to Olympia. Not DEI. Because Senate Bill 5044 that brings that nonsense into schools, oh, let's talk about that. Semi Bird brought forth a policy in my school district when I was school board director that says we will not teach critical race theory To teach a child that the color of their skin determines their outcome in life, that's racist in and of itself. We will teach civics. We'll teach truth and history. But leave the politics and this social engineering that's being peddled by the teachers union, leave that out of schools, and let's focus on academic excellence. So there's my 2 cents on diversity, equity, and inclusion. But the last I checked, the party that I have been a member of since I was 18, I joined, and I'll tell you this, my values have stayed the same. But apparently, I may not align with what I'm seeing out here, right? I may not align. But my party was the party of abolition, the party that ended slavery, the party of women's rights, the party of civil rights, and today, the party of parents' rights. Constitution above party. Constitution above party. Constitutional republic above party. My mission is clear. I am not of a party establishment. I'm not here to be your peddler or your messenger for a party establishment, a political class, or a wealthy elite. I'm tired of that. I'm here to serve the citizens of Washington State. I don't care whether you're a Democrat, an independent, or a Martian. I'm here to serve the citizens of Washington State equally, fairly, and respectfully. So I hope I answered the diversity and inclusion. I'm getting a little excited today. I don't know why. I guess I'm passionate about the Constitution and our republic. The best thing about Republican for Semi Bird, republic, republic, republic. Constitution, republic. Self-governance, self-governance, self-governance. Get off your butt and do something. Don't buy the smoke and mirrors. We the people, not we the sheeple. It's time to step up, pull your head out of the sand. Don't start talking about silent majority, because you lost that. We lost that. It's time to fight to make America great again. It's time to fight to make Washington State great again. And that has nothing to do with all this label lynching that goes on. It has everything to do with loving one another as you would love yourself, bringing respect and human decency back to our society, teaching our children to value one another, not to look at each other by the color of their skin, but judge them by the content of their character. Have you ever asked why the progressives don't talk about Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. anymore? I know why. Because he would never approve or abide by this racial division of our nation and of our state. It's nonsense. And yes, there's discrimination, racism, and prejudice. Well, let's do something about it. I'm ready. Communities, are you ready to partner with me? Wherever it exists, we will eradicate it and we will cut it out like the cancer it is. How's that for my position on racism, discrimination, and that ignorance? We're Americans. Black American, white American, Chinese American, Hispanic American, we're Americans. We will fight together to protect the sanctity of this nation, which is a melting pot of all colors, all religions, all social classes. It does not matter how much money is in your bank account. You're an American citizen. That is privilege. You want to talk about privilege? That's privilege that you have at birth, being a citizen of this great nation. Let's act like citizens and self-govern our way back to our constitutional republic. That is why I'm running. That is why I'm running, because I'm not going to be chased out of my state. Boy, I got fired up, you guys. Okay. It's okay. I'm getting carried away here. I'm just going to look back here. I know I missed some questions, and for my friends who tuned in, I'm going to just scroll back up. I'm looking for a question mark, and just to make sure I caught the DEI one. Here's one. What are you doing about these unconstitutional gun laws? Second Amendment, yeah, no. So let me just say this. Oh my goodness, it's the Second Amendment for a reason. Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution. We have more rights and protections under Article 1, Section 24 than we do of the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. We're in the Ninth Circuit, the Ninth Federal Circuit. Judge Benavides, I've said this before, has ruled the magazine capacity ban unconstitutional. Hence and so forth. An assault weapons ban is unconstitutional. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. It is social, economic, and mental health issues. Our mental health infrastructure of Washington State has been decimated and no one has done anything about it. Well, I'll be respectful, not nearly enough. 1,250 beds for our population, not enough. And that's me being nice. So, no, we will restore our Second Amendment rights. More importantly, Article 1, Section 24. We have a federal basis within our own federal circuit court to do so. I, as governor, as the chief executive officer of the state, I will bring forth the actions or any actions to restore our constitutional rights, and that includes our Second Amendment. That is, and again, they're trying to tax the ammunition. I'm aware. They're bringing these regulations to gun stores with the cameras and the data storage and the bars and the windows and the bars and the doors and locking the weapons. I'm following all of that, my friends, following all of it. They're chasing the wrong thing, just like they did with homelessness. It's not little mini houses when people are shooting up in their neck and their flesh is falling off because they're combining horse tranquilizer and fentanyl. No, it's a drug addiction epidemic in Washington State. And why are they not supporting or stopping the trafficking and the large distribution of fentanyl? Why have we not made it a Class A felony? Where's our drug interdiction task force? And I know what's going on with the DEA and the small participation by the state. I've created federal task forces overseas, not in American soil. We're going to fix this nonsense. Hopefully I answered some of these questions, guys. I'm going too long, and I hope you guys are still tuned in and getting something out of it. If I'm going too long, I understand it. If you tune out, I get you. I respect it. But this is my time to talk to you and to answer your questions. And again, I don't hide in my basement. So there's just a choice that you have. I've answered about President Trump. What is your opinion on Governor Inslee? It doesn't matter what my opinion is on Governor Inslee. And I mean, I respect your question. It's not personal, nor is it political. Nothing I said is political or personal. It's just what needs to be done. It's my beliefs. It's my beliefs. Again, Constitution, Republic, plain and simple. When you're elected, will you turn around Governor Inslee's sanctuary? Yeah, I think I answered that. What will you do as governor to turn around? We answered that. Hey, I think we're on fire. And this asks the NGOs in our state that are facilitating, the illegal immigration, because they're benefiting from it. When you bring in busloads of homeless migrants into our state, because they don't come in here as homeowners, they come here and they need housing. They go to the front of the line for that. And they're given at the border a debit card. I know, I was just down there a month and a half ago with my friend Mark Lamb. I consulted in border security. They get a debit card and they get transportation to where they want to go. And being a sanctuary state, they come here I respect and I have compassion for people seeking a better way of life for themselves and their family. Oh, absolutely. And this is the place to come. I get it. But we need to take care of our own citizens first right now. We need some fixing right here. Let's get that done. The federal government needs to secure our southern border. I stand with Texas 100%. That's without equivocation. And Delmore, a wonderful man from Klickitat County, a true patriot and a friend. What do you think is the main reason for the WSRP is trying to put you out of the running? So I will not disparage the Washington State Republican Party. They don't support me. They never have. I think they say they're going to support whoever wins the convention. Dave Reichert just said he will not support the delegate's choice unless the delegate's choice is him. I saw the video. That's what he said. His words, his own words. He said something different. He was asked the question, will you support another candidate if the delegates choose another candidate in the Washington State Republican Party convention, state convention in Spokane? And he said no. So there's the actual words, and I encourage you to watch the video. I think it's on YouTube. I saw it over the weekend. It just came out. So, Delmar, my friend, I don't focus on what the Washington State Republican Party does. I told them from the beginning, I think this whole convention process is, I need to be nice about this, rigged. I see it for what it is. But we, the people, are self-governing, and because we're standing up to it, we are going to Spokane. I need you to go to Spokane. I need you to cast your vote to make America great again. I need you to cast your vote to make Washington State great again. I need you to show up in Spokane at that convention. I need you to be a delegate to ensure that we, the people, preserve our constitutional republic through self-governance. That is what that convention represents, not the Washington State Republican Party. It represents we, the people, self-governing at our best, demonstrating and telling the political class and the wealthy elite, you cannot buy me, you cannot buy my candidate, and you cannot buy my state. Washington State is not for sale. Delmar, you brought something out of me, my friend. Can I blame you? I don't know. No, I would never dare. And when is the convention? David, thanks for asking, and I appreciate your support. I see your post. The convention, I see my little sister Leslie. The convention is April 18th through the 20th. 18th through the 20th. And I have some other amazing news that there will be another press release coming out on this. So I've hinted, we have an opportunity with this amazing organization, an organization that can't be bought, that can't be intimidated, that represents all parties, all citizens. They're non-political. They represent all citizens of Washington State and nationally. This is an organization that is bringing forth a tool to ensure that all citizens' voices are heard and all citizens' votes are verified. And so this is technology. It's a tool that this organization is bringing forward. And my organization, my campaign will be taking advantage of a tool that ensures election integrity, that says whatever the state comes up with, there's a tool that can show and to cross-check to make sure that things align. So I'm not going to sit back and wait. I'm not an election denier. I'm an election insurer. We will have poll watchers. We will self-govern. But this is a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful tool that we will utilize. And I'm honored to be a part of it. And this is open to all candidates, from what I understand, from all parties. We've had people from all parties. Everyone wants election integrity. By the way, establishment, not election interference. I said election integrity. Well, there's that. So we see what's happening. I'll do a couple more questions. And again, I almost want to apologize for going over, but I hope you're getting something out of it. What does your plan look like regarding the forced upon, the CARES Act? Thank you. This is Andrea. No. So again, back to those amazing 6 initiatives that are going forward that I fully support. We were down there in Olympia the other day, and it was nice seeing hundreds of people come together in support of these initiatives. One of them is to repeal that CARES Act. This CARES Act, long-term care, which is really not long-term care. You get short-term care for a long-term payment, and if you leave the state, you lose it. If there's an interruption in your employment, you lose it. It's a hidden payroll tax is what it is, that we're all mandatory. It's mandatory. So, Andrea, thanks for asking. I do not support it, and these initiatives will go to the ballot, right, in November. We must vote and support these initiatives. We must. I don't care who's financing it. I don't care who vote. We need to vote for it. And by the way, 57% of Democrats and independents signed those initiatives. So it is so common sense that people are saying, Well, I don't like the Climate Commitment Act. I don't want capital gains taxes. I don't want the state coming up with income taxes. I want to stop this hesitance or this infringement upon police pursuit. I want to support our law enforcement professionals. I want to give them back the tools to protect our public safety. So much more. Parents' rights, right? These initiatives are crucial. So we all have to get active, and we need to tell everyone we know to be prepared to vote to support these initiatives. How can we up security at the shipyards and bring? Oh, this is good. This is Deborah. Deborah, I'm not going to give you her last name. Deborah's talking about shipyard security, port security. So I need to make that. Okay, maybe one more question. I love you guys, and I love doing this. No one talks about this. So I'm a former Special Forces engineer, and we have training on threat assessment and vulnerability analysis. I won't go into detail on that. Maybe you guys can Google some stuff. But we know the vulnerabilities of our ports. We know the vulnerabilities of our nuclear assets. We know the vulnerability of our electrical grid, which needs to be repaired and upgraded for Washington State. We know the vulnerability of our ports. The ports were actually my specialty that I wrote on in school. So yes, I got you with technology. I've got you with Pacific Northwest National Laboratory technology that I actually am aware of the implications and installations in foreign ports. I've worked maritime security. It is what it is. You asked a question, I know about it. I don't do math problems. I told everybody that. Someone's going to ask me one, and just be prepared. I won't answer it. So yes, my friend, ready, equal to the task. Oh, we're going to protect our ports, and there's so much more. We have the EEZ, the Economic Exclusion Zone. I won't go into detail, but this is literally our buffer zone from shore to international waterway, right? And we need to understand what those implications are. I do. I understand shipping lanes. I understand shipping. I understand identifying of freighters and ships, the signals, the technology that they possess, and what the pings that they sent and how we monitor. Oh, I'm ready. And we want to talk about the Communist Chinese Party and that we have people already on the ground. Yes, I'm aware, as well as 5 cartels operating in Washington State. We'll just say 4 for sure that are verified and publicly talked about, well, at least by a few. Oh, I'm ready to roll. So you guys, we have to ask ourselves, are we ready to self-govern? Are we ready to make Washington great again? Are we ready to make our streets safe, our schools better, right? Bring economic prosperity back for all citizens. And again, I started campaigning in the inner city of Seattle. I made promises to those leaders that I will keep. I wrote a meritocracy. It's on my website. So my solutions and actions that I write and I sign, it goes into the weeds a little bit. It can go a lot further, and it will be a lot further, because that's just a taste. What I write and sign, there's so much more. I just can't fit it all in a piece of paper, and then it'll just tune you out. But my friends, I'm just a different person, not a career politician. I'm here to go to work. I'm here to go to work to make Washington State great again. I'll say that about 10 more times. So I'm going to wrap up right now. And there are so many more questions. Send me your feedback. If you say, send me, just do one straight up question, just question after question after question. Maybe that's the next podcast. I'll finish going through these. There'll be more questions. You know what? That will be the next podcast. We'll do a podcast next week. We'll pick a date where I will go through nothing but questions. I'll give you a quick update on the campaign. I'll try not to pontificate too much, and we'll go through your questions, because I'm here for you. And I'm not afraid to answer anything you want to throw at me. You want to talk about baggage? You want to talk about, I'll tell you. I say it from stage. I say it in person, not hiding behind a computer or a camera. I'll go there. So I just want to say thank you as I close. This is a we engagement where we stand together. Whether you're, again, Democrat, Independent. I have so many people coming to me and say, Semi, by the way, I'm a Democrat. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm an Aries. It doesn't matter to me. You're a person. You're a person. And I'm tired of this party divide. I'm tired of all of these divides. My friends, we're getting played. We've been getting played by both sides of the political aisle. And I know it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear, but I would ask you, President Washington said it, and I'll repeat myself. I do that a lot. My wife tells me that all the time, and she's my angel. In his farewell address, President Washington warned us about political parties. He told us to cling to our national unity, to stand together as a nation. That parties would cater that to that political class. It would develop and create a political class, the powerful and the controllers. And it's money that runs everything, money. And you want to talk about the global economic forums and all these organizations that go down into these regional organizations that come into these state organizations, layer cake, marble cake. Again, my friends, we must get back to old school, loving one another, respecting one another, and having this pride in our state, this beautiful evergreen state, this beautiful nation, land of the free because of the brave. I'm going to put up our website. We've had some beautiful people who have contributed. We're going to log in some donations tomorrow morning, a lot. We have folks coming forward who will be pledging very, very large dollar amounts. And I understand our as you know, our PDC guidelines. So we'll make sure we do it right, because we know those others are waiting, under the refrigerator with the rest of the roaches. As soon as you turn the lights on, they go right back under the refrigerator. I used to live in Hawaii. You know what I'm talking about. But we have people who are investing in our campaign. All of you who tuned in today, thank you. All of you sent these questions in because you want to know who I am. Thank you. Self-governance. Let's save our state. Let's do it together. Go to birdforgovernor.com, birdforgovernor.com. Give what you can. It makes a difference. You're going to see a 4x8 sign go up. You're seeing more. We're not wasting the money. We're using it to win and to save Washington. God bless you. Stay positive. Stay above the fray. We're self-governed.